In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
Too Close for Comfort. The new Alice Cooper tour coming out in 2023 starts in April. If you'd like to see that shameless plug, Vic, you should have those tour dates ready, buddy. I know. I just threw that on you. But yeah, we're calling the tour. We're going to talk about me and you playing that first year of Alice Cooper for both of us. But yeah, can you believe it? Since that year, Reb, you know, I've done some years where I didn't play with Alice. I actually, didn't play the whole time, didn't tour with Alice the whole time I first moved to Sweden, and I was here, and you were playing with this band and that band and the other. Ever since '96, when we first joined, Alice has not taken a year off since that year.
Isn't that something?
He's toured every fucking year. Is that insane?
It is insane that he can work like that. He's just a workaholic. It's unreal. And he plays golf every day as well. Every day.
I know that. I finally play golf now. I mean, that's the one thing back in those days when we were playing together. I think we were just kind of still living in the moment of, hey man, we're in a big rock band, and so let's just sleep all day or whatever. It wasn't like I didn't catch the golf bug at that point. Did you ever? I mean, being a Kennedy kid protege, didn't you never learn golf, or was it badminton?
My father was a bigwig at Oakmont Country Club, which is right up the street.
I played there. Very, very cool.
Oakmont's
it's a bucket list course. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And I live in Oakmont. And my dad wrote this book, Golf: The Body, the Mind, and the Game, and it got published by Random House, and it's actually supposed to be amazing. Yeah, got to read it one day.
I mean, I remember your dad. I remember more than remembering your dad. Great man. I remember the stories.
Dick Beach. Sounds like a gay resort.
Honestly, the stories of Dick Beach on our bus during the poker games, Alice still to this day will be on the bus and go, remember those stories Reb would talk about his father? And then there was the one story he goes back to it. It was about the dog.
Oh yeah, we're not going into that one.
I'm sure you've brought it up before in a bunch of different contexts, but this is the thing, folks. This is what I'm telling you about. Reb has a story about almost everything in the world, and I love myself and Alice Cooper included. We love your stories. We really do.
Thanks, Ryan. So I remember. Oh, I can talk about Alice later, but I mean,
let's talk about it now, because you know what? There is really no quick format, because this is one of those things where we can just talk about whatever we want.
I was sitting with Alice in the front of the bus, and we were going across this big major highway, and I saw a squirrel go across a power line that ran across the double highway. And I said, so that's how they do that. And Alice did this typical Alice where he just stared at me, and then he told me that story the last time I saw him. He said, you remember when you said that thing about the squirrel? But I mean, I got a great Alice story. Real quick, I'll try and quicken it up here.
No, it's great. You take your time. That's the beauty of being on YouTube. There is no off button. We can just chill.
Well, Alice was like a father to me, and he taught me how to play poker. He really was so wise, and he told the best stories of anyone on the planet. No. But you had to be respectful, and I was pretty sure we weren't allowed to smoke marijuana at that time, and so I never really did on that tour. But I was outside the bus. We were getting ready to get on the bus to go to the next town, and this kid said, hey, you want to smoke a joint? And I was like, man, I haven't smoked a joint in a long time. That would be fun. So I smoked a joint with the kid, and this stuff was like acid or something. It was like crack, I got on the bus, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm stoned on the Alice Cooper bus. I am so stoned.
It's like weed is today, back there in the 90s. It's like basically he's going into a dispensary today.
I was super paranoid. And, we played cards every night.
Yes,
and I just was not up for it. So I went in the back and I hid just in the back thing, and Alice was like, hey, Reb, we need another guy. I was like, sorry, no, I can't do it tonight, and he said, come on. So usually I won because I was pretty good. And that night I lost. Yeah. Well,
You have to remember, I was in the band too. We used to call you, we didn't used to call you so much, but it was more Big John, Alice's security guy at that point. And I love Big John. But we used to call him the ATM because he was always good for $20.
yeah.
He comes sit at the table and it'd be $20.
We had a game called ATM. It was 5 card, just all up. But anyway, the moral of the story is that I lost $50 in the game
Because you were
and I was telling Alice that I was tired. I'm just really tired, Alice, And the next morning I woke up and there was $50 under my pillow. And I said, Alice, you put money under my pillow. And he said, well, you were tired. He knew I was going, and he was cool about it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So I did not know that story. The question is now, who did he take that $50 from? Had to have been Big John because he did, because he
won all the time. Alice was the big winner.
Always. And here's the thing, Alice. There was a question that came up in the chat in the comments just earlier, and they said, "Is Alice as good of a golfer as everyone says?" He is, actually, folks. He's as good of a golfer, and he's as good of a poker player, and he's as great as a front man, I think, as you'll ever find, out there. He's you bar none. He's the one guy that's out there that's still giving it 110%. Plus, he plays his schedule. I know because we're on the bus together. We're playing 4-5 shows a night still. So it's or 5 shows a week.
He's this amazing person. As soon as anyone meets Alice, they feel comfortable. He just makes everyone feel comfortable.
We just talked about that last week, how these the household names, the sort of household name guys make you feel like you're the most special guy in the room and make you feel more like you're the rock star instead of them.
That's true with Alice for sure.
I'm Ryan Roxie, and I've taken all my years of experience of playing guitar, and I want to pass the torch of rock and roll on to you. Check out the System 12 guitar method.